Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Dear students, I welcome you once again in this online lecture series. So hope you are all fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. So let me recapitulate here what we have discussed within our first lecture regarding this constitutional designing. That's our second chapter of this political science. So dear students, I was talking about this democracy actually, and I was trying to define this concept of democracy, that how it is absolute form of democratic system, its type of government in this 21st century, that every newly born country or the third world countries, they are going to adopt this democratic type of the government. To refresh your memory, let me recapitulate you the March revolution that took place within the Middle East countries. That immediately, when you talk about the Libya, Tunisia, you talk about the Egypt, you talk about the Hosni Mubarak, you talk about the Gaddafi. After the wave of the revolution took place there, how they tried to adopt the democratic system. So there is something that tries to address the grievances and aspirations of all the people, all Tom, Dick, and Harry. So when you talk about here the constitutional designing, so to define the constitutional designing, it simply means that how this independent country, they are trying to frame the constitutional structure for their nation, the rules and regulations to govern their country as per that very document. It's one of the most significant hallmark of the democratic system, what you simply call the constitution. Actually, dear students, in this chapter, we are going to talk about the making of the Indian Constitution and how this Indian Constitution was framed, although that took a lot of time to the framers of the Indian Constitution to get the Constitution for the newly independent country. But before this, there's a one beautiful case study to talk about this recently newly born democratic country, that is the South Africa. Let's talk here this how these Africans they came out of this quagmire, the apartheid system that was the wave of the racial segregation and the wave of the racial discrimination, where the whites showed their prominent hand over the black people. So there was a clash on the base of the races, on the base of their color. So there is a one man, students, his name was Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. Who was the first black president of the Africa from, if you talk about his tenure, that's from 1994 to 1999. So he was a person who was a messiah for the nation, who after a long span of time spent within the jail, almost 27 to 28 years. So after he came out from the jail, he gave a new wave, new sense and a feeling to their countrymen. That is the freedom, not from any foreign one, but from this the racial domination. So I recommend everyone to you to read his best treatise. That's his best this autobiography. This long walk to freedom. So how Mandela tried to give this nation a new democratic government, because he was a person who himself says, I am unquoting this Mandela, that I have fought against the white domination and I have fought against the black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and a free society in which all the persons live together in harmony and with the equal opportunities. It's an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die. So this is the actual statement of the Nelson Mandela, which I am going to quote. So he was being tried for the treason by the white South African government, because he was a person who was fighting against this apartheid system, that was a racial segregation. So let's talk here how this constitutional designing in Africa took place, how these white people were given their absolute rights, that constitutionally they need to be feel that we are equal, we are one, there is no bar, there is no the priority to any particular race. So this is the first thing which we need to discuss, we need to understand rather within this lecture series. Okay, dear students, let's have a glimpse on the screen. There is a man. This is the person called Nelson Mandela. He is the person Nelson Mandela. Let me tell you here, he was awarded by the world community by the greatest prize, that's known as the Nobel Prize, in 1993 for the peace. In 1993, this person was awarded with the highest prestigious prize, that's known as the Nobel Prize. Oh, now let's see how this wave of the democracy started and began it among the minds of these founding fathers, and the thought and notion of this framing of the constitution for the country. And the first of all, what they did, they laid the foundation of the Congress there, which was African National Congress, ANC. Actually, it was the umbrella union started by the different organizations, different wings, to fight against this the racial discrimination, the white domination that was actually the European in nature. Ultimately, after the Mandela's come back from this imprisonment, a long imprisonment, when he was acquitted, so they finally, it was a midnight 26th of April 1994, a national flag of the Republic of South Africa was unfurled. So a great sign of the newly born democracy in the world. Dear students, this is the way that the repression and the suppression of this white domination came to its end. Let's see here the scope of this constitution. The moment this constitution was started, it took them almost 2 years to come into the existence, to come into the execution. The preamble of the constitution, the whole nitty-gritty of the constitution was only to address the problem of the every nook and corner of the country. So the post-constitutional era of this South Africa speaks that the constitution of the South Africa, whether it's both past, it addresses both the past and the future. On one hand, it's the Solomon Pact, in which we as the South Africans declare to one another that we shall never permit a repetition of our racist, brutal and repressive past. But it is more than that. It's also a charter for the transformation of our country into one which is truly shared by all its people, a country which in its fullest sense belongs to all of us, whether we are black, whether a white, whether a woman or a man. Means there is no superiority, there is no prejudice, which I simply call it no prejudice, that one should be given the superiority over the other. Before the eyes of the constitution, before the umbrella of constitution, everyone is equal. There is no discrimination and there is no priority to anyone. So this is the wave. The moment we talk about Africa in the 20th century, the country that was a symbol, that was an icon of undemocratic system, now that's an emblem of the democracy, where everything is ruled and governed not by any particular will, but by the unanimous will that's passed within the parliament, where the laws are framed, where the laws are structured, where the laws are shaped, and these laws actually govern and address the problems of the people repeatedly and every day. So this was the brief analysis of this African pre-democratic era and this post-democratic era. The bottom line of this short talk was this: let's see the progress in Africa, the democratic revival in Africa. They too have captured and embraced the wave of democracy, the way that the world is this time embracing. That's why it's the icon of democracy. Be connected to me. Let's have in my next lecture the analysis and the historical legacy of this Indian Constitution, how Indians have framed the Constitution. So till then, stay connected and take care. Allah Hafiz.